A new statue is coming to Laura Bradley Park. That's just one of the things you'll want to hear about to start your day for Wednesday, August 28th. I'm Colin Shope, and this is WCBU's On Deck. First on deck today, the Peoria Park District's Golf Learning Center is in the process of transforming into an interactive entertainment facility. WCBU's Joe Deacon reports.
The $4.5 million upgrade to the facility on Radnor Road will feature a 21-bay multi-level electronic driving range with the same technology used by Topgolf locations. State Representative Jahan Gordon Booth says the improvements will turn the Learning Center into a quality-of-life attraction.
This will bring in people from all around the region because we know that when the Park District says we're going to do something, nobody does it better.
Gordon Booth helped secure a bulk of the project funding through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity.
Our community deserves nothing but the very best, but the very best can oftentimes be costly.
Other additions include an indoor golf simulation area and a full-service restaurant and bar in collaboration with the Fox Pub and the former owner of the Bearded Owl Brewery. Park District Board President Robert Johnson says the plan modernizes a venue that was originally built in 1997.
It was a great experience to bring something like that to Peoria. And here we are again today. Now we're getting ready to go even further.
Interior demolition has already started on the project, and the new center is expected to open late spring of next year. The existing skills course and driving range will remain open with some limitations during construction. For WCBU's On Deck, I'm Joe Deacon.
Here are some other stories we're following in the WCBU newsroom. Peoria Public Schools could save hundreds of thousands annually by switching to green energy. And a batch of 242 new students at Eureka College has brought a record enrollment of first-generation students to the private liberal arts college. You can find more of these stories and all the details at WCBU.org. More than 4 years after removing a statue of controversial explorer Christopher Columbus from Upper Laura Bradley Park, the Peoria Park District has commissioned an artist to create a replacement. In a nearly unanimous vote this month, the Park District Board approved a $25,000 advance to artist Preston Jackson. Jackson, known primarily for his bronze sculptures and prolific public art, is in the early stages of designing a tableau of what Native American life looked like in central Illinois.
That's the most important thing about this, is that not only what am I portraying, but how I portrayed them.
In the back of Jackson's Peoria studio, a few large clay tablets bear the very early sketches of a Native American woman holding a swaddled baby. Jackson isn't a stranger to Native American-inspired design. He created 2 large bronze doors and a facade that welcomes visitors to the Cahokia Mounds Museum in Collinsville, Illinois.
I have to definitely do this right, and I have to do the research, do the homework. The best thing I can do is speak to someone who is Native American.
Jackson says in preparation he's been doing extensive reading on the history of Native Americans in central Illinois. He's scheduled meetings with local advocates and tribal leadership. There is some amount of friction, he admits, to not having clear Native American heritage himself when working on a piece like this one. Broadly, though, difficult histories are not a new topic for Jackson's work. Some of his most famous pieces are busts of civil rights movement leaders. He crafted dual sculptures commemorating the 1908 Springfield race riot.
When I do a project about African Americans, I feel that I should be the one to do it. For many reasons, because we don't realize the psychological damage that has been done.
Jackson says it's part of who he is as an artist, that his pieces invoke larger and sometimes difficult conversations about history, the country, and the figures portrayed.
It is important, because we as voters, members of this country or whatever, wherever the lines are drawn, we have that responsibility, because what we do is we bring unanswered questions. We bring the answers with us just by being, just who we are.
But as an artist who produces a lot of public art, Jackson's pieces are viewed by people of all different political backgrounds and personal histories. When asked if he balances the public aspect of a project like this one with the desire to touch on potentially thorny topics, Jackson says it's all part of the process.
That takes me to this place of soaking up information. I have to decipher, or I have to scan or judge or be very cautious of what I accept. And in accepting certain things, I have to also be aware of how I dispense with information.
After all, he says, there's power in art making. Visits to the spot where Columbus once stood in Bradley Park have an important space on Jackson's agenda. While there, he says he doesn't just think about the land before any of us were here, or how this piece will interact with the scenery surrounding it. He also thinks about the Columbus statue and the artist who made it.
And there's a little bit of me that says, what about the artist? The artist that probably studied somewhere in Europe, as I look at the techniques that were used. A very good artist. How would he or she feel about knowing that there's controversy over what their mind and hands produce?
Jackson says that all of this taken together, the history, the good and bad, the artists, the controversy, the community, it all informs the content and concept of the work. It's a difficult and complicated process, but above all, Jackson says he feels honored, both to be selected as the artist for this project and to have the opportunity to give the community a bronze cast that's long-lasting and timeless. Now, before we let you go, The Mousetrap at Cornstalk Theater starts its second week on stage tonight at 7:30 p.m. See the classic murder mystery before it's gone. And that's all for today. You can subscribe to WCBU's On Deck podcast on the NPR app, Apple, Spotify, or YouTube Music.